Gluck, gluck, yeah. Gluck, gluck, yeah. Ooh, caribou. Gluck, gluck, yeah. Gluck, gluck, yeah. Ooh, caribou.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, one of these days I'll update that intro for you. Learning how to do some animation, but it's taking a while. Anyway, we're not actually going to be opening cards today, guys. We're going to be going through the thought process here for whether or not you're going to collect what you're buying or whether or not you're going to sell what you're buying, particularly as it pertains to Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Guys, I want you to know that this isn't me saying what you should or shouldn't be collecting or buying. This is me saying, here's how you know, here's the thought process you can go through, really, to figure out whether or not you want to buy stuff and sell it or buy stuff just to collect it. So that being said, first of all, I wholeheartedly recommend Miracle 40, guys. MKOHL 40? Yeah. Great YouTuber. Awesome explanation onto what singles, what packages, what booster boxes you want to buy for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really great. I'll link in the description below for his YouTube channel. Couldn't recommend him enough. Now, before we even get into, are you going to want to collect something and keep it, or collect something, keep it and sell it later, or sell it right now? Before we even get into that, you have to talk about the value of these cards. Okay, and what gives them the value, really? Three things. Three big old things. Uno, dos, tres. First thing is the rarity, guys. The rarity of all this stuff. You know, obviously, the more rare it is, the more it's going to be worth. That's supply and demand. Second is the personality factor, the nostalgia factor, the waifu factor, guys. Things like that. Like, people will buy Dark Magician Girl because they like Dark Magician Girl for obvious reasons. Nostalgia, and it's a very attractive card. Third, the meta implications of what you're buying. Fun fact for you guys, meta stands for most effective tactics available. Most effective tactics available. Yeah, try and remember that. There's your fun fact for the day. So here's an example. Dark Magician Girl, right? A really high rarity of that is going to be worth a lot. It's worth a lot not only because it's rare, but it's worth a lot because it is also nostalgic, and there's the waifu, there's a personality to it that people like. It's not really meta game, you know? So I guess a good combination of all three, geez, I don't know, right now, probably be SP Little Knight. Yeah. Ish. I don't know. Hard to have a good combination of all three right now, at least. So with that in mind, that's how you would determine something's value to yourself. That's how you right there, that's how you would determine, hey, I think this card's gonna be really rare. Obviously, it has a ultra rare, ultimate rare, secret rare, starlight rare. So if it's one of those guys, that's how you know the rarity. It's up to you to determine if you think it's nostalgic enough. That's probably going to be easy for you. And the meta-analysis, you have to learn a little bit of what you're buying. So if you're buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you got to learn a little bit as to what makes the game of Yu-Gi-Oh tick. So there you go. That's value. Now we can finally get into the conversation as to collect or sell. So we're going to talk about collecting first, guys. I have some notes here. Let's see. I'll probably do some sort of graphic as I'm talking about these. So when you talk about collecting, you're talking about, do I want to keep this forever, just keeping it, or do I want to keep it and sell it later? So if you want to keep it and, you know, just keep it indefinitely, you're just collecting it, then the whole conversation about value, just throw it out the window. You don't need it. But it's a question as to, are you going to keep this and sell it later, right? It's very obvious. And if you think that people will want it later, if you think there's going to be value later to this product, then that's a good reason to collect it, right? It's very obvious stuff. That's a difficult question to answer, but you gotta, again, know what you're buying. So, I don't know. For the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably for most products in general, I think the good rule of thumb here is it gonna be reprinted, right? Because if it's gonna be reprinted, then the value of it is gonna go down, because that's how supply and demand works. If there's more supply of something, the value of it's going to go down because there's just more of it. Everybody can have it. If there's less, then it's going to go up. So if you think that there's going to be a reprint, if you think that there's going to be some other duplication of this stuff, it's probably not going to be worth collecting and keeping. So very easy for the collecting portion. Ish. Now we get on to the even more difficult portion, is selling. Oh boy. For this, it helps to use an example, I think, because this whole video is about At least I'm doing it for myself, and hopefully anybody out there who's wondering what they want to keep versus what they want to sell. So for me, this was a decision as to whether or not I want to keep or sell the 25th anniversary rarity collection for Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. It's a hot button topic, Yu-Gi-Oh's latest and greatest stuff. So selling, we're back to the selling thing. So the question is then, is this something that people are going to want to buy now? Very easy to determine. You can go on TCG Player. People are buying this stuff like it's hotcakes, guys. It's good stuff. It's all shiny stuff, all meta stuff. That's 2 of the 3 that we marked earlier for the 3 rules for value. So it's good. This is a very good set. People want to buy it. It's very valuable. Okay, so, but there's a bit of a cost analysis here, guys, because there's multiple ways you can sell something right now. Okay, I bought a case, right? I bought a case around $850. You got to assume, though, if you're buying something, you're going to buy it because you know that it's valuable. I'm backtracking here a little bit because I know that a lot of stores didn't buy the legendary Duelist Soul Burning Volcano because there wasn't a lot of good stuff in there. You can take a preview as to what you're buying and see if there's a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of stores knew that Soul Burning Volcano wasn't really going to be worth a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of good stuff in there. So this is, assuming that you know what you're buying has a decent amount of value, which you usually do. Anyway, getting back to the rarity collection and the example here as to what you're going to do if you want to sell it now. Multiple ways to do that. So the cost analysis, at least for rarity collection, again, guys, sorry to go on tangents here, but the cost analysis for the rarity collection case, I spent $850 on the case, guys. That's shipping, everything included, yada, 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 $850 flat out. There's multiple ways I want to sell that, though, or I could sell it. I could sell it right now. I could sell it back as a case. And cases right now are going for about $1,000-ish is what I'm seeing online. That's not including shipping, but so we could roughly say that we'd profit $150, right, from that. You sell it for $150. You bought it for $850. You sell it for $1,000. Easy math. Or you could sell each individual box inside the case. There's 12 of those boxes. So boxes right now are going for about $85-ish. That's shipping included. But guess what? You got to pay the seller, right? Yeah, the seller has to pay for shipping. So if I want to sell an $85 case, because it's above $50 on TCG Player, and most places will do this, where you got to include, tracking. Well, that's an extra cost. So you're not really making $85 per box. You're really making about $70 because shipping's around $15 most places you go. At least for me it is. So it's $70. If you're going to sell each box individually, that's 70 times 12. That's $840. Okay, here we go. So that's a profit of only $10. Not a reason to sell it like that. I would rather just sell it as a case. Okay. So it took a while to explain, but there you go. There's a third way to sell all this stuff, guys, and that's individual cards, singles. You can sell that on eBay. I prefer TCG Player, but let's take a look at the analysis for that, which I did a bit of analysis as it pertains to rarity collection. So, on average, out of the 79 QCRs there are, quarter century collector rare, quarter century secret rare, you get about 3 of, I'd say, even though it could be more, you get about 3 of each rarity per box. So that's 3 QCRs, that's 3 platinum ultra rares, that's 3 platinum collector's rares, 3 regular ultra rares, 3 secret rares. Yeah. So on average, these are the costs for those, for each one, on average. A total of 79, you divide it by what they all sum up to be. You're gonna get 3 of them, so we multiply that by 3, and it comes out to about $22 for one box if you're gonna sell singles, and then you times that by 3 for $66-ish per box. Okay, we're not including shipping because that's kind of melted in with the cost in TCG Player. So you times 66 then by 12, right? Because there's 12 boxes. You get, I do have a note on this, 792. So that's, you're also at a loss there, but you opened the stuff and you were able to have the jolly old experience of opening up all the shiny crap. So that's kind of the way you can go about figuring out if you want to collect something or sell it. You do a little bit of an analysis here, and you don't have to write this all out like I did. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of help, also some help for myself, for anybody out there that wants to know, what to buy, what not to buy, when to buy it, when to sell it, yada yada yada. So for me, this is in general, if you got what you want, you're free to get out of here. But for me, in terms of the case that I got for Rarity Collection, I actually think I'm going to collect it. I think I'm just going to keep it and sell it later. And here's why. Because the stuff that's in there is rare. The stuff that's in there has meta implications. That has the most effective tactics available. Right. So I don't think Konami's going to print a whole lot more of those cards in the next like 4 or 5 years. Those cards are going to be pretty dang useful in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh for a while. And they're really, really shiny and really, really rare. And I think it's going to stay like that for quite some time. So I'm going to keep the case, and I'm probably going to sell it in a couple of years. And I'll probably sell it for, I'm just guessing, around $1,500 to $2,000, which is a pretty decent, like twice as much as what I paid. So it's good. But I want to open more. So I'll just buy more boxes of it. And, I think that's a good way of reasoning it. But hopefully this video has helped out anybody out there that's like always wondering, like, man, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what, I'm not telling anybody what to buy or how to buy it, but here's a nice thought process to just think of when you do see something. You're like, well, what is that? Am I really going to want to collect that? Or do I want to sell it now? Do I want to sell it later? How do I want to sell it? Yada, 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 yada. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you next time.